John Davis, absolutely one of the best.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis doing what true crimers do.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
Mr. John Davis. John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime.
This guy John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime. Maybe that's where I've heard that name before.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis, and it's good to see you, John. How are you?
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True.
Hey, John Davis.
John Davis.
John Davis True Crime.
John Davis True Crime kicks butt.
Tune in and watch John Davis True Crime. You will love it. It's one of the best channels on YouTube. Tune in. It's John Davis True Crime.
Sorry, I was running behind. That's why I wasn't in here, Jesse. Not sitting here at the computer texting y'all. Let's just see what everybody's up to. Fill them out before I go live. Act like you've been there. Happy May 22nd, 2024. I wished I would have started with episode 1. Because it's hard coming up with something every day to wow them with. But I seen this, man. And I don't know. To be completely honest, at some point, you got to, once or twice is a mistake, okay? At some point, anybody that has this thing happen over and over and over, I would call that more of a pattern, a characteristic, something to that effect, right? So yesterday, I'm looking around. This ain't got nothing to do. Hold on. Pretty sure this is the one. TikTok Tony struck again last night. Now, he tried saying that Sebastian's original Amber Alert said he got into a vehicle and was abducted. That's false. Why does he keep spreading misinformation? He tried to explain the audio about it came from Deputy Skaggs' website and was the true Amber Alert until people started to call him out. Then he looked into it and said he was wrong. Well, I put it out there before vetting it. In my opinion, Tony needs to go. No half-decent PR man would put out information that's not true. I mean, do you not at some point start questioning it? Ever? At no time do you think to yourself, why does that keep happening? How does that help? And I'm telling you, I don't know, maybe it's where Tony's new to social media. If you look hard enough, you will find fake crap. It's easy enough to get duped. I seen what I thought was a kid that had been found and shared it, and come find out it was a scam. You know, you gotta vet this stuff. But you know, I'm not running PR for nobody but myself. I'll take the hit because I wanted to get the kid's picture out there ASAP, you know, and get attention. We need to identify the kid and react off emotion. But this dude is representing himself as a PR dude for a missing kid, and you know, a representative of the missing kid's father, and he is just throwing bullshit out there. I'm sorry, that's a fact. That's a fact. Am I wrong? Somebody tell me I'm wrong. I'm interested to see the opposite side of this, because I don't know now how many this is, but it's a few, quite a few. Why would you need a PR man for a missing child? I don't know. Because now everybody wants to stay on YouTube and social media. I don't think it helps. Not overdoing it. You know, for the integrity of the situation in the case, you kind of got to limit just this kind of shit. You know, and to perpetuate that there's this call out there about him getting in a car. You know, I'm sorry, is that wild to screw that up? Or is it just me? Said he got into a vehicle and was abducted. The original Amber Alert. And that it turned out it was totally untrue. I think this kind of hold on. Here's what it was, yeah. Where it originated was, where Tony got this was this, okay? So don't trust anything unless it comes from law enforcement. And then he goes right into discussing the original Amber Alert issued by law enforcement, but it wasn't issued by local law enforcement. It was issued by Deputy Michael Skaggs from Missouri, who runs a private company called US Watch. And they created a software system where he creates AI templates for missing people, where he fills in the blanks. These are not official Amber Alerts. Each state has its own criteria for issuing Amber Alerts. So this dude that Tony got this from apparently is just making shit up, I'm assuming. I mean, that's wild. But I'm sorry. How do you not, as the PR guy, you not research and find that before putting it out? You know what I'm saying? I mean, honestly. I mean, it would be breaking news, yes, if that were a fact. It would. But, I mean, you got to vet stuff. I think you can defend a lot, but that from the PR guy? And see, the thing is, you know, he just started doing this, and I guess like Caleb Harris's situation is different than Seth's situation, because I don't hear about a bunch of wildness going on there, but just being over top of this and putting stuff out like that and not fact check some shit like that. I would question why the dude that makes those, why is he putting in stuff like that on a missing kids flyer for somebody like Tony to believe that? Why would he, if that's the situation, which it is? Why is he even making such a post with a missing kid and screwing up the details? Doesn't it seem like that in itself should be some kind of crime? I don't get it, man. It's a damn shame one has to put false info out here. Tony is a starter who does that in missing child cases. Shake my head. I don't know, man. It's just, I do not understand not vetting stuff much better than that. When you are speaking for him, is it just seems like you wouldn't want to be getting that you wouldn't want to be getting stuff like that wrong. And that doesn't help the situation at all. At all. Now, I bet you a ton of the people that he told that to before it was found out that that was wrong will go on forever believing that. Oh, you heard about the call or whatever. The report, Tony said. I just don't get it, man. I think you got to be more responsible. And that's that. And for all, you know, that's nothing against Seth. I'm not. This has nothing to do with Seth. I'm saying is if you're going to represent yourself as the PR guy, this is in my opinion, you got to do better. You got to do better. That's like I see a lot of times people. There's a couple of these websites that will say anything that people quote them, and I'm just like, do you not know that that's completely made up? A lot of it, you know. And I swear there's one, and I'm not going to name them because I'm sure they have really extensive legal departments. But there's this one publication that it's like I almost would have to think they do it on purpose. I've seen them a couple times like get a detail wrong, and that's all it takes to the public. If you put something out there, the public is going to take that shit as gospel, and I've seen them do it. They get I'm get myself in trouble. Why is Seth keeping him, I wonder? I don't know, man. I mean, I would think if I'm Seth, 3 strikes you're out. I think this is a whole money grab for Tony. I just don't see where Tony could be making much off of this. You know? I don't know. I don't know. That's kind of my issue is, you know, I don't see where he could be making a ton of money off this. I don't get Tony. I really don't. I don't get Tony because either he doesn't seem like a dumb person to me. Okay. So it's either he don't know better than to vet stuff and know this is fact before you ever go public with it. I have to believe he knows. I don't know. You know? And even if he has this information, say he even has vetted this information, should he think about what he releases? Is this going to be beneficial to the situation? You know, I've often thought too, you know, what if somebody that would have one of these kids would see something on YouTube and it would scare them because it was weirdly coincidental, and they do something to the person because they thought cops were moving in on them or something, you know? I don't know. And it seems like something that should have been, it should have stood out to him. I mean, you would have thought if that was the situation that he wouldn't be breaking it, you know? I don't know. It's fishy to me, man. But I feel like later on they're going to low key be like, we were doing that to try to trigger the FBI, and if that is what they're doing, then that's kind of fishy, ain't it? Am I the only one that sees this as a wild thing? I tell you that. What good it does do, though. It reminds you that Sebastian's still missing, and it's getting way up there. I'm not going to go over the number all the time. It's depressing to me. Oh, this whole thing just smells fishy to me, though. I'm not on no somebody's in it for money, but I don't understand why people do the things they do. On either side. You know what I'm saying? I don't get Proudfoot how he comes out and he's rude and talks smack and just, you find out all this about him and how he keeps coming out and talking. I don't get that. I really don't. I don't get why Katie don't talk more. I think, I think that's the thing. Everybody's talking around her and she ain't saying nothing. I think it makes, I think, and I'm not saying she should come out and talk all the time. But she should make like more appearances. Has she been on anything solo? If she has, it ain't been much. I know that. Because I feel like you've seen enough of Chris and you've seen enough of Seth, but I don't feel like you have an idea about Katie as much yet. But maybe it's smarter for her not to come out. Katie's smart not to talk because she slips. I was thinking about this, and I don't know. Y'all can tell me what you think. But if I was Katie, and the situation was, when I went to bed, I thought Sebastian was in his room asleep. I thought everything was fine. No sign of anything. Okay, follow me on this. If that's what I thought, I went to bed, everything was fine. Sebastian was in his bed. Everything's good. Okay, I wake up the next day. Sebastian's not in his room. I go look for the house, can't find him, go do a search, etc. Right? She says, like right at the beginning, that he walked off. Okay? My thing is, if I would have been in her shoes and they asked me what happened to Sebastian, you know what I would tell you? I have no freaking idea. It's like he disappeared out of his bedroom. That's how I would tell you. I wouldn't assume he even walked out the front door. Or he walked out, period. Why would I? I didn't see or hear anything, right? And now, there's no camera footage. Why would I assume that? I think he disappeared. I would think my child disappeared if that was the situation. I'm just saying. Unless I knew something nobody else knew that would make me think my kid walked out on his own accord, would be, I can't see it. His shoes are not gone. Now you might say, well, the flashlight keychain was missing. I don't know, man. Do you know exactly where you keep all your flashlight keychains and stuff? It seems fishy to me. I struggle with so much of it. I struggle with not just thinking, and you know what? I think if that was my story and that's how it happened, I don't know if I'd ever be able to sleep again by myself, especially if I was in her situation. You know, it happened to me. I went to bed with somebody I loved. I woke up and that person's gone and we haven't seen him in forever. I'd probably never be able to sleep alone again. It would be extremely bad, you know. Could you imagine? I haven't bashed Katie one bit. I don't know if somebody has, it wasn't me. I'm just saying Katie is the biggest suspect. She was there with him. I don't know who's bashing her. There ain't no shoes tells me he didn't walk anywhere. You know, I'll say that now. You'll never convince me he walked out of that house with no shoes at night. Did any neighbors witness her outside panicking or calling for Sebastian? Sally Carson, that is an excellent question. I don't know. I've heard some secondhand what the neighbors said stuff, but I haven't seen any neighbor that was verified to me or heard. I don't know. You know, but could you imagine though if that had happened to you? You went to bed, somebody was there, you woke up, they're gone, and you haven't seen them for months now. That would be hell on a person. If that's what happened, I don't know. I don't know. If that's the honest truth, then that has to be horrible. But there is just no sign that he walked out of that house. Really, there's not. Outside of the keychain missing, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one way or the other. Even EquiSearch says they find it hard to believe he walked out with no shoes. Oh, I wanted to show y'all because I talked about it the other day, but I didn't have a reference for y'all. Okay. I got us a reference today. If you look here, down at the bottom, I put Sebastian. This is where Sebastian's house is, okay? This is an aerial map of the region. Look at this area here, how big that is and thick. For him not to have been on camera or anything, I feel like that's the only way he could have went. I hope that all that's been searched. Because see, Sebastian's right down here. That's in his neighborhood down here. This is all right north of it. Look how thick that is, too. And there's a lot more, but I didn't want to scan further out. You couldn't tell where nothing was. And I don't see how there's any way he could have walked that far in the woods with no shoes on. Okay. I just don't see how that's possible. You have a hard time ever selling me on that, you know? And I feel like, and think about this too, you know, if when she went to bed, right, and everything was cool, then he had to have put a little bit of planning into this, that he was leaving that night, and he didn't think to wear shoes, right? If when he went to bed everything was fine, right? If that's the situation, that's why Katie describes it. Had a great day, everything was fine. If that's the situation, he had to have planned it beforehand, I say. Because he didn't do it out of anger over something that happened that evening and run off in a huff, right? So that tells me there had to have been a little bit element of planning to it, if this is the situation. And he didn't even think to wear shoes. I don't buy that one bit, you know, for 1 second. It makes no sense. Think about that. If he went to bed happy, then he planned this. It was something that he had planned on doing already or something that had happened before that day. So it was planned, but he didn't plan to wear a pair of shoes when he left. Explain that to me. And this is my opinion. That to me tells me something, man. I don't know. It indicates something to me. It may not to y'all. Maybe I'm whack. Walking on in the woods in winter in Tennessee has a lot of sticks and rocks to step on. He probably had sensory issues. Sounds unlikely. Yeah. Sounds super unlikely. It sounds super unlikely that he would. I mean, if you look at this through a factual lens, it seems super unlikely that he ran away without shoes. Especially when I say, if Katie's story is correct, the whole day was great. There was no argument, nothing. It makes no sense. That means it was something that happened before, something that was happening, right? And he planned it, and he was already going to do it. It wasn't because of the spur of the moment, like I said. He had planned it, but he didn't plan shoot. No, that don't make any sense to me. He's not leaving without shoes, and if it was planned, he didn't take any of his stuff. Don't make sense to me. It makes zero sense. Oh, it just kicked on. It makes zero sense to me. And I'm telling you, I've thought about this. I think that's about the biggest telling clue in my mind, is the fact of the story Katie tells. The circumstances just super contradict that. What if the story that KP said about the shoes is a false story? What if, in fact, he did have shoes on? then it would be extremely weird that Katie would lie about that, you know? At this point, it's not getting 90 days into nothing. Yeah. You're exactly right. It's not. My first thought was pine cones. I don't want barefoot on those. You definitely wouldn't have planned it and not wore shoes. I'll tell you that. I seen something interesting the other day, right? Check this out. This is TBI's, one of TBI's first posts, right? I think it's what this is from. This is from the 29th. Numerous local and state agencies continue to search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. We're asking residents in Sumner County, especially around Beach High School and Long Hollow Pike, to check any space on their property where we could seek shelter. Where he could seek shelter, I'm sorry. Hashtag TN Amber Alert. And there's the, the Amber Alert for Sebastian from the 29th, right? 3 days. And I was noticed they was talking about the area specific around Beach High School and Long Hollow Pike. And I thought, I'll make you guys a map and show you. This is Sebastian's house right here where Sebastian is, right? This is his high school. And this is Long Hollow Pike area. This is where they're talking about they were looking, they were searching. So I'm wondering if that meant this area here too. That really puts it in perspective for you. Right here where Sebastian is where Sebastian lived, right? Here's the construction site. I was checking it out too. It's weird. Like there, they have not all the houses are in yet. You can barely see them on this picture, but there's a couple of houses already on here. And on one picture I seen they had the street names, and it was weird because they had these street names that didn't even have their houses on them. I thought it was wild. But that's the area. Give you the best idea. This right here. Oh, I thought I had the map one on. No. Anyway, there's another view of right here with the red dot is where Sebastian lived, and here's your high school right there. Down here in the white. There's another view of the housing development that was going in. Man, it's so sad. There's so much they're cutting out and all this. You seeing these pop up, nice pretty forests. They must be expanding there, it looks like, in Sebastian's town. God, I forgot the name of it. Sumner County. I tell you, and I don't know. I seen the other day where Seth was giving Sumner County hell. I question that technique too. There it is, though. There's Long Hollow Road. Now think about it. Here's Sebastian's house, right? It's in the culvert. I don't feel like, I often wondered if, because a lot of people had this theory that Sebastian, somebody from school met that might have whisked him away, thought he was in trouble, or whatever. May have been a good Samaritan, doing it for what they thought was a good reason. And for him to get to school, that's where he would go. That's the area that the police wanted searched there in the beginning. I guess they thought that was an obvious place to go. But you see, to make it out of his subdivision there, he would have to make it through a few houses, but there's not much along that road there, But I would think once again, once you get over here to the high school, they got a lot of cameras there, but there's not much along that road down there, is there? Where they're looking, them woods are thick right there too. That's where their mind was at 3 days in anyway. You know, I looked this up too because I thought this was weird. I didn't realize this when they brought up the searching the landfill, right? Well, down here in where the red penny is, where it's Stafford Court, that's where Sebastian lives, right? Way up here in White Plains is where that landfill was. It is 2 hours and 1 minute away. I would have never thought they hauled your trash that far. It seems like, boy, they must get expensive hauling trash that far, don't it? Anyway, that's where the landfill search was in 10 days after Sebastian went missing. Would you have ever thought like trash from right there in your area would go that far? Seems odd to me, you know? I still, man. And question the landfill thing so much, man. I keep going back and forth. There's no way that search was over nothing. There's no way they just they just was like, you know what? We ain't searching the landfill. Let's do that. You'll never sell me on that, man. I'm so perplexed by the landfill search. 10 days later, too, man. I don't know that. It worries me that, like, at 10 days, they were like, we have nothing. We got to do something. What can we try? And maybe just throw a Hail Mary at it. If it's that, I wish we just knew that because I'd feel better. Look, they tried. And, you know, I don't want to say they ain't tried because they did do that, you know. I just feel like and, you know, I'm all about this too. I'm all about passing a case on if you can't figure it out and letting somebody else try. I'm all about that. Okay. I just want to get that out there now. But I don't know about that you should use tactics to make that happen. It should be off the merit of the situation, in my opinion. You know, that's just my opinion. Is that what's going on? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I seen this stat too. Y'all want a stat? I seen this and I was like, I'm gonna save this stat. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there were 359,094 reports of missing children in 2022. Although it should be noted that some of those numbers are repeat entries for children who ran away multiple times, whereas hundreds of thousands of children and juveniles are reported missing each year. Analysis by Ritter suggests that the vast majority, more than 95%, are found relatively quickly after running away. Abduction by non-custodial parent or relative accounts for most of the remaining cases, and just 0.1% are reported as abductions by a stranger. 0.1% are reported as abductions by a stranger. Is that not wild to y'all? See, I'm a stats guy, man, because anytime there is like this stat that is just so out there, then damn it, likelihoods are, you know. I think it's mind-boggling. I don't know. That's just me. That's why, and I hate to flip-flop stories here, but I talk about Summerwell's a lot, and y'all know that. That's why in Summerwell's case, like, the stats, the situation, it's so hard to imagine that a total stranger found her out there on this day. And that's what happened. And the fact that her parents, Dawn and Candace, saying that's what they believe has always troubled me so much, because in my mind, that is such an unlikely thing that they would believe that over. I don't understand why they would question nobody. I mean, let's just be honest. Well, for those of you who don't know, these people have bad criminal records. That's just being honest, okay? So I've always been troubled by the fact that they just don't leave it open for that. They want to go to, this has to be a total complete stranger. You know? And it seems like they want to high road the situation with by playing that, you know. It's weird. It's weird that that's what they would think. If the story happened the way that Candace explains the timeline, you would think she would have never been able to be alone by herself again. I mean, look what happened to her with surrounded by people. Her daughter just in 2 minutes. I won't even hold her to her 2 minutes. Say in 5 minutes, just after she walked in the house, just no clue, no sign of nothing. Candace's theory should be she walked into a portal, something like that, because Candace was there. She knows she didn't see nobody else. None of these make sense to me, man. Just, I'm sorry. Let's go with what I'm looking at. Talking about the Sasquatch lip lock no more. Seems both were pre-planned, in my opinion. You know, Merge, I'm not saying you're right, but on that line of thinking, I've always thought, and I hate to flip-flop, but let's go back to Sebastian. I've always thought in Sebastian's case, I couldn't determine about the shoes. Was it an oversight? Did you not think about that? If now, for whoever, say if you're Katie, all right, I'm allowed to have an opinion. This is hypothetical. If I'm Katie, something happened. Did I just not think about the shoes when I was asked about that, or what? Because if you think for him to have run off, it would make no sense. He didn't have shoes. So wouldn't you have thought, like, well, what's missing? She would have mentioned a pair of shoes, and there'd been a pair. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's so hard to read into that, you know. So it's wild. Seth seems like from when it's come up with him that he don't question that there's no shoes missing. See, I don't feel like Seth probably had a great idea. But it just seems like, see, I would, to be honest, there's evidence when this is all said and done, those shoes will be an issue. We'll know the reason, how the shoes. One day we'll know the answer to this. I hope, and I hope it's soon. And until then, I need to put my picture back up. But man, all this is getting to be a lot, and I am super concerned where law enforcement is on the case. It is, but I'm telling you, it's really hard to know what's going on there for a reason. You know, I get that, but I just feel like they at least owe us like a press conference, and just give us a press conference, okay? If there's something you're working on, just say, look, we can't comment on the case, really. Can't tell you a lot. I just want to say, yeah, we got some ideas, and we're working on that, and we got some shit coming together. And that's it. Just give us that. Just don't give us, please don't give us the, well, we ain't sure there's really a crime here, fellas. He's just not around right now. We're looking into it every day. Don't give us that bullshit, man. Give us kids don't disappear and are never heard from again if there hasn't been some sort of crime committed. Give us that. And we're on it. Dust them for fingerprints. We're doing this. We're doing that. We checked this out. Hell, we even looked at this. You know? I don't want them to give us nothing that would hurt the situation. But damn, just make us feel like there's hope. Give us some hope for Sebastian. Tell us something. You know? Has there been a lot of sightings in any area? I mean, well, no, you probably shouldn't tell us. It's tricky, though, what they could really tell us that wouldn't hurt the situation. You know? Some stuff could really hurt the situation. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? But I'd love to have something. Got to look at how they lived and what was going on in their previous lives to getting gone. I completely agree, man. That's why I think the weirder it seemed like it unfolded at the story unfolded, the more I was kind of open. Maybe Sebastian would leave. You know, and I still think that's a possibility. That's why I show his picture. You know, and that's why even when the fake was out there, there were people, it is not him. And I'm like, well, you can't say that 1,000%. And at the time, you really couldn't. I don't want people not to be looking for the kid. That's why I try not to go too far into what I think happened all the time, because we don't know anything, you know. We don't. Now, there's probably a lot of shit we shouldn't know, probably, as just the public, really. I don't know. I kind of feel like, in one way, if you're out and you want the media's help, you should be transparent about who we're helping. Kinda. Does that make sense? You know? It does to me. Because some of it just is looking off. It makes you I don't. The thing about Seth is, though, I feel so bad for what happened to Seth, regardless, that I'm not trying to break him down. I'm just saying he's really making some horrible decisions, horrible decisions. And I tell you what, now I'm going to say, I think the majority of it is his PR guy's not doing a great job for him. I don't know how he's doing about, being somebody he can talk to. Maybe that's what he needs, and with his PR guy's actions, he's probably getting more stressed than he would be on his own, I would say. I would have to think. I'll tell you what, and it kind of makes you wonder. Hold on, Harley, you gotta chill out. Is the UPS dude? It's the neighbor, man. Come on. Sorry, y'all. Where was I at? Anyway, I don't try to scorch the man, but I thought it was bad to do that to Trev too. I couldn't imagine what it's like going through that. It's got to be horrible. But damn, he's got to start making some better decisions. Number one should be finding you a new PR dude. Honestly. Yeah, I showed y'all that. Oh, I seen this. Check this out. This is good news. This, Sebastian, we're at Walmart. That's awesome, ain't it? You can tell it's Walmart by the, what's this? The font and the paint scheme. Had y'all seen that? Mom has to be involved. I'm highly suspicious, and I think everybody's allowed to have an opinion. I would agree with that. That's awesome, though. I thought he was at the Walmart. Y'all ain't tickled by that? No. Where's my computer froze? I thought it was great news. He's out there. I tell you what, they do a lot for Sebastian too, man. The police is going to have to let us in on something really soon, because I don't think it's going away. I think his story gets bigger every day. The mom has to be involved. I keep thinking about that. It's like there's only so many options, honestly. She definitely has to be involved. She has to have. Well, could you sleep through something? I don't know. And it's weird. What else is weird too is how the thing got out, and I don't even remember where it originated. But do y'all remember there was something out about Katie giving him some kind of sleep aid or something? Now people are wondering about that. You couldn't have slept through something. She's the only one in the house. I don't know, man. I think when it comes down to I don't know. You can believe that, or you can believe like prophets, like he walked out. I don't know how there's any evidence of that. What would make you think that? The flashlight keychain. So you thought enough to get a keychain, but not wear shoes. Were you going to check it? Could he have been more? Hell, I don't know, man. I don't. The only other thing, could he have been lured out? Possibly, but wouldn't he wear his shoes? Seems like under any scenario that he left on his own willingly, the shoes would be gone. And Katie says there's no missing shoes. But does it benefit Katie to say that? Could she have made up like there was a pair of shoes that didn't? Oh, yeah, he had these old running shoes. They're missing. If she's trying to perpetuate the runaway, see, you got to ask yourself that. Like the no shoe missing hurts her, but she's honest about it. That's weird. That's why I can't 100% say on her, you know. But when it comes down to the end of the day, there's only so many possibilities. You slept through somebody taking him. He left on his own, but he didn't wear shoes. You know, what are the options? She slept through, somebody came in her house and took him. That's about what it would have to have been. Now, if it happened that way, that means he wouldn't have had shoes on, okay? But that person ain't on camera coming in and out of the neighborhood, and did he, if his car wasn't parked anywhere there, was it parked somewhere and he was able to carry him that far? I don't know. You know, Sebastian wasn't huge, but I mean, he was a fairly good sized boy. It wouldn't be easy. Was he sleepwalking? Bobs, I've thought about that, but well, okay, say he was. Where's he now? I think there's been some pretty damn good searching, to be honest. Logic tells us that most likely did not happen. Hey, John, I told you about Madalena's case before her mom was released yesterday. They're trying to deport her. Her stepdad trials is today and still no Madalena. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is. I haven't seen that. Madalena's case before her mom was released yesterday. He wouldn't be impulsive for long. He would have showed up somewhere. See, that's the thing, you know. Look where we're at now. I mean, you got to add at least an accomplice into the mix. Saying, you know, even though Tony put the thing out, and what we talked about this earlier. Tony said that the dude that said I guess the guy made his own Amber Alerts or something and there was a car and all that. That would about have to be the case, you know. But it just seems so unlikely that would be the situation. You know, doesn't seem like he would have been hitchhiking. It had been something pre-planned. Apparently, there is no evidence of that. You know. And Katie has, you know, here's the thing too, all right? Katie's talked to law enforcement a decent amount from what it sounds like. I mean, they said they gave her, it's been said she gets regular updates, right? She's still pulling it off if she's done this, you know, and we're looking at like 3 months now. 3 months of playing this. Nothing, we can speculate on this all day long. But until we know, we don't know. I feel like CP is Katie's PR, right? And Seth has Tony. And I feel like Chris is doing better than Tony, because Chris is making it about Chris. Tony is messing it up for Seth. You know what I'm saying? Chris is accomplishing something if he's Katie's PR manager, because he draws more hate and attention on himself than anybody gives to Katie. That's who you need as a PR manager, somebody that's going to keep him off of you, right? And this is actual life that this is going on in right now. This is the situation, basically. Sebastian's missing. Mom has come out and spoke. She's done interviews and stuff like that, but she don't do much. And I ain't seen her on. Has she been on any kind of YouTube channel? I don't know. I don't think. The stepdad constantly on the YouTube raising hell. Like he's like this and it's like to me, a dude, he's bad, don't get me wrong, but he's one of them guys that women love to hate. Loudmouth, controlling, obnoxious, and yeah, that's kind of, mom's side. Dad's side is dad makes horrible decisions. Horrible decisions. He's under a lot of pressure. His son's missing. He's not involved. We'll give that. I'll say that. Well, Seth didn't physically have nothing to do with anything. Seth was at work. I think everybody can agree to that. So whatever happened, he wasn't involved. But he is the one we hear from a lot more than Katie. I don't know if maybe it's like, it seems like it goes to whoever's the one that is probably got the more of the narcissist in them that wants to talk. A lot of people probably haven't, and I never look at people that won't do this in a different light, like people that don't get on YouTube and talk shit and all that. I never judge them for that. It makes me think they're sane enough and smart enough not to get baited and into it. If I had a missing kid, I doubt I would be on YouTube. If I wasn't me, I wouldn't be on YouTube much. I'd be on there maybe for highlights, but it wouldn't be to be on the farm being like, how y'all doing? What's going on tonight? What's up in here? I'd be thinking of where my kid was and what I was going to do the next day to find them. Because guilty people have the least to say, in my opinion. Got the most to lose for talking, too. Right? Think about that. If Chris ain't done shit, he can talk all the shit he wants because he ain't done nothing. Katie, if she's done something, she can't be just flapping off the mouth and drawing heat and attention from everywhere. I don't know. I don't think you can ever 100% read somebody by exactly every word they say on. You can never 100% nail it down one way or the other. I haven't seen a ton of Katie to go all in, right? But her story sucks, and I don't want to judge it yet. Not yet. The story sucks. It's going to come out. I feel like we're going to get some justice out of this somehow. I feel like I'm hoping maybe the reason is we're not hearing much from law enforcement is because they're getting ready to bust something open. They're just putting one more thing together, and they don't want to say nothing. They just want to get it locked down, and then they're going to be like, boom, we told you we had this shit, Sumner County, baby, and start flexing and stuff. I hope for shit like that, you know. I never want to be super negative about what it's going to come out to be, but we're going to, one day, I really feel like we're going to find out. You know, y'all feel it? I do. One day, it's going to come out. We're going to know one way or the other what's happened. You know, who knows? Who knows before they're, we're looking at this like this now, you know, because we don't exactly know yet what's happened. But imagine, surely at some point there's going to be some kind of a trial for somebody. I'm thinking, what could come out at trial? Could everything that's in all these reports spill out? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it'd still be like that. Who knows? But could you imagine? Oh, it's going to be such a train wreck. And Sebastian gets lost in all that, you know. It's so weird how nowadays it's real time you're seeing these people, because this didn't used to be reality. Like people in their situation, you wouldn't see people nightly on TV. You know, back before the internet, this would be just the most wildest thing to even hear from somebody. Maybe on the news, possibly. But now it's like somebody who's actively in this situation can talk to people everywhere, thousands and thousands of people all the time. It's I don't think it's helped the situation at all. I think I hit on about everything in my hour 7 I wanted to ramble about. I still got some stuff I ain't made it to. But I got to put in a hot water heater. Today's number, I don't know how many. I can't take another cold shower. It finally came in. That's where I'm going after this. And probably going to be off tomorrow and be back Friday. I don't know what we're going to do Friday yet. I'm going to put it out. I'll set it up early, though, for everybody that wants to come. And we'll see everybody Friday morning. Thanks, everybody, for coming today. Thanks to everybody that's going to be in the rewatch gang. Thanks to everybody hitting that thumbs up. I don't forget about the thumbs up. Water heating and gas lighting. Now, there ain't no gas involved. It's electrical, thank God. I don't like playing with gas. I would much rather shock myself than blow the house off the foundation. But we'll be back tomorrow, or no, I'm sorry, Friday. I think that's what I might start doing. Every day there's just not enough stuff going on around the hood for me to easily find an hour to talk to everybody. I'm going to sign off. Don't forget the thumbs up, man. I got a ton of thumbs up the other day. I was pumped. I was like, thank goodness, finally I did good enough for somebody to go, good job, John. I'll see y'all Friday. Everybody have a good rest of your